This is the appointment where we find out if my arm is strong enough for me to be able to fly again.
Although I have, mixed feelings about Anthony flying again, I am still looking forward to hearing what the surgeon has to say.
No matter what the surgeon says, this is going to be a big moment for both of us. We got a flight to catch. After we landed in Houston, where we had a connecting flight, the pilot came in over the speakers and was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got a plane stuck at our gate right now, so hang tight and we'll get you on your way." But Leandra and I weren't worried because we had about 40 minutes until that flight. But a few minutes turned into a half an hour. And when we finally deplaned, I ran my butt off for the first time since shattering my hip. And amazingly, it actually felt great. But what didn't feel amazing was watching our plane push back from the gate without us on it. Fortunately though, we were able to get on the next flight just a few hours later. So we finally made it to our hotel, and it was pretty late at night, so we went to bed. And when we woke up the next day, we walked about a mile to the hospital. This, of course, was the same hospital that I had just been at 3 months earlier to undergo a massive operation on my arm.
The pain in my arm was like intense, like camping.
Intense.
So now we were here to follow up. And it's crazy. My body was healing up pretty well. Somehow, I've never felt any pain in either my neck or, well, I have felt pain in my back. My insurance did cover these therapeutic massages. Don't get jealous. This older lady had hands so strong, I thought that she was going to put me back in the hospital for another month. And then, of course, there was my shattered pelvis, and that kept me in a wheelchair for almost 3 months. The doctor made me swear off other things, but I agreed with my fingers crossed. But eventually I was back on my feet, and my wife and I and the kids would go for longer and longer walks around the neighborhood. And eventually I got my four-wheeler back up and running so that I could enjoy my time out here, which is something that I've done my entire life. And being able to be outdoors right now with my new sleep system reminds me of why my recovery has mattered so much to me to begin with. Here comes the sunrise. Woo! The closer that I can get to nature, the better. And that is exactly why I picked this one, because it's made of this durable canvas that holds up really well against strong winds and all of these prickly plants and all the poisonous critters that are out here. But it's also simple enough so that I can still feel connected with the environment. Speaking of the environment though, my busted butt wants nothing to do with all of these jagged rocks. Thankfully, my bed comes with this squishy 3-inch memory foam mattress. So no matter where my wheels stop turning, I know that I will be comfortable for the night. If you do want to know more about this guy, I'll leave a link down in the description. But as much as I love riding to remote spots in the desert on this beautiful four-wheeler, I still desperately miss flying. Metaphorically speaking, it's a romantic love affair that many of you don't accept. At times, I've even felt like I've had to abruptly end my channel just so I could run away with my beloved flying machine. And some of you think that I'm completely oblivious to the dangers that come with flying. Like me, the guy who's smashed into the ground, is somehow unaware of the risks that are inherent with flying. I think what people don't realize is just how strong my will to live is. That right there is what guides my every decision to ensure that when I fly, I'll be able to land safely so that I can come home to my beautiful wife and kids. I could elaborate on this a hell of a lot more, but for the sake of brevity and really bad attention spans, I'll leave a link to my blog post where you can read more about this as well as any other recovery updates. Here is what my surgeon had to say.
This is where we were missing bone here. So you go back in time and you see like our deficiency is really in this zone. This is finally incorporating the graft. This side appears to be forming direct bonds across its old fracture line, and you can see the bone density is improving across that old fracture line. Screws are holding, and then as you look to this side, the graft is now forming what we call maturing callus, so it's getting fluffy there.
The big fluffy cloud.
It is cloud, yeah. That means that we're in good shape to really push it now.
Oh, cool.
And that's gonna feel like crepitus or like a little snap, crackle, pop or Rice Krispies along this edge. I'm gonna tell you, this time you can ignore it.
I'm building confidence with it. Like it doesn't hurt as much.
Because you're, former infantry, this is one of those no pain, no gain moments. We're putting you back into the Marine Corps mentality of going ahead and working through the pain. And in this situation, it'll help us get bone if you work through it, which means that we can push the weight to essentially weightlifting is tolerated. Like we can basically go for it now.
Right. Prior to the surgery with you, I struggled with 5 pounds, but now I can like effortlessly do 10, 15, I'll do 20, but there isn't pain with doing that. There's a decrease in pain when doing a tricep extension like the skull crusher.
Wrist is not tender.
Nope.
So can I overpower that? Just barely. So you're a strong person. So
that would have killed me before.
I would never be able to overpower you on that side. So I know that that's our deficiency.
Right.
We need to really focus on triceps now and build that up. I think that'll take care of some of that pinch in extension.
I text you a photo of me flexing in the mirror. Were you impressed?
I was. Yeah, I was. So we got flexion. Yes. I saw the kids hanging on.
When launching a paraglider, that would probably put the highest amount of strain on me. And basically, as the glider comes up, there's this resistance.
What I would maybe do, knowing your gym setup, is replicate the initiation phase with weights, because it's going to involve pec, biceps, probably not as much triceps for that initiation. So you're going to get rotator cuff, anterior deltoid into that movement. If you can get that done with your equipment, then I think you're fine.
Cool.
I do think at some point we're going to want to remove that screw possibly, or put a scope in there to check where we're at and clean up a little bit to get that refinement as a late solution to some minor loss of motion or mechanical irritation from all this hardware.
I look for any excuse to come back and hang out with you.
I think we could scope it right now. I think we start with a scope and take out a screw.
Let's go.
No, not today.
I know.
I can't scope it now because we have to see this wall mature. When we see that mature wall on the lateral side, I think that I would expect you to be probably trying to fly again.
My realistic risk would be upon landing, I would maybe like slip and fall and need to just like brace myself with the weight on my back, which is like 75 pounds of additional weight. Is the arm going to be indefinitely more vulnerable from that standpoint?
No, actually down the line, it won't be vulnerable here. It'll be vulnerable here.
Because the metal and stuff could create like a
Stress riser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difference in density.
It's not going to be just like super delicate.
No.
Do you think that it's too soon to look at flying again? Or
With that in mind, would you say use the next however long you see fit to really develop and work those muscles prior to even thinking about it?
you're supposed to be on my side.
Take advantage of this good spring season to do just what you said. And he mentioned that he hadn't really run much. I want to look at it globally, like look at your global fitness, maybe see what we do with a little bit of sprints.
In addition, I could simultaneously take the glider without the motor and flying and just go through the motions without...
I think that's a great plan. I'm amazed you maintain your fitness to all this, but get your cardio pushed a little further down the road. Let's get some leg strength up.
The legs certainly are a huge aspect of it.
Yeah.
Being the biggest muscle group, it has an increase of testosterone, which could develop muscle in other parts of the body.
100% agree. You know that the whole system is connected. It includes sleep, nutrition, flexibility training. We haven't had a chance to challenge it this yet. This is the first time I've given you an X-ray that allows you to challenge it on the level of comprehensive core training and strengthening, and the field training with the glider makes a lot of sense. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting really close. I think the next 6 weeks, when the summer season hits, I think we'll be ready.
Awesome. So the big question is, would you let your kids fly? What do you say to that?
I have no problem with it. This is just a life philosophy answer there. Like, look, you can do everything right. And tragically, we had the first major aviation crash since the last time I saw you. And on that plane were a very disciplined set of athletes from one of the most disciplined sports there is, which is figure skating, and doing everything right every day, all day, from morning to sundown. And then somebody else's decision making results in a catastrophe. At the end of the day, you can't predict what injury will happen tomorrow. It doesn't mean you were negligent, and it means that you take control of the risk assessment of everything you do. But I don't think there's any point in living life with that anxiety, because at that point, you aren't even living. Now you're a passenger in somebody else's storyline, and then you'll still meet some unusual event, but you won't be the one living it. So I think we'd all rather have that moment in our hands, not out of our hands. So I trust you. I'll let my kids train with you. I mean, you've shown the discipline to get over this injury, and if you get back to flying, then you've proven that it's doable, and then I trust that you'll be a safety advocate for the sport going forward. And there's a reason why you're still going, and I think we should make sure that we don't neglect that reason too. So I'd be comfortable with it.
Oh,
but it's all about discipline, and it's all about repetition, and it's all about process. Yeah, 100%.
I didn't pay him to say that.
Am I in trouble?
Very kind thing to say, and you know, and I think it helps me too, because in this whole experience, I have a lot of mixed feelings about him flying again.
Yeah.
Hearing that perspective does contribute to a sense of comfort.
My wife was a triathlete, or is a triathlete, crashed 2 years ago, had injury, concussion, and she did a half Ironman a year later, and she made it to the half Ironman World Championships in New Zealand this year. I mean, I don't know that the next day you're just going for a routine bike ride, you might not have a problem, but it's not for us to judge that.
That's incredible about your wife. Holy cow.
What an athlete.
Yeah, that is wild. Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you back in about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
To think that in 6 to 8 weeks, I will know if I am able to fly again. My mind is totally there. I know how safe paramotoring can be. And if I train not just hard, but really smart, I may find myself back up in the sky very, very soon. I have some very incredible news to share with all of you. I'm going to be traveling all around the world this year, and I'm going to be vlogging my experiences with some of the greatest paramotor and paraglider manufacturers in the world, in the most beautiful places. It all starts next month, right after my next follow-up appointment with my surgeon. Where will my first flight back be? Leandra, I love you more than life itself. Dr. Dutta, thank you. The world truly needs more people like you who are capable of changing people's life for the best. And to you, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. Whether you agree or disagree with my decision to fly again, I really value your insight. Because of you, I am stronger than yesterday. And I cannot wait to bring all of you along for the flights. So, prepare for takeoff.